Hey Collective, it's Intuitive Pisces Moon and a welcome to the channel. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me today and every day, whether you have been here for a long time, whether you are new, welcome. If you are finding this channel, I hope you enjoy the content and want to subscribe to the channel for more of the content. So what I am getting into today for this reading is a full moon reading. So on December 4th, we have a cold full moon in Gemini. And what does that mean for you? Well, this is a period of completion, renewal, reflection, and shadow work. Now, we also have Gemini being prominent, which is communication. So Mercury ruled. So anything involving communication may come up during this time as well. Maybe there's something you need to say. Maybe there's something that someone else needs to say to you. So we're looking at closing out chapters, right? We're looking at reflecting on the year, how things have transpired, how potentially things need to be different for this new year that's coming in. So this is the last full moon of the year, and we're looking at completing cycles. So we're going to tap into that energy and we're going to see what we have as a general reading. Now, I do want you all to go check out your zodiac astrology readings that I put out for the whole month of December. And, we get into a little bit more of the specific things for you all out there in those astrology readings. So check out your sun, moon, or rising and see if you can find out more information there. But today specifically, we're just getting into this cold full moon in Gemini on December 4th. That being said, let's jump right in. So I was called to use these particular decks. Two of them I actually have been using in the shorts lately. And this is the 90s grunge deck. I love it so much. This is a deck that I created myself, and then we have Moonology. I'm also going to be pulling some Shadow Work Oracle. And that's because we need to see potentially what's left out there. I'm getting like remnants that need to be cleaned up, to continue on, to complete these cycles. One of the things that I heard before I started this reading was cathartic screaming. I don't know if any of you know anything about somatic release and how you can release things from your body. Sweating is one of them. Crying is one of them. Shaking is one of them. Just movement in general. But cathartic screaming came to me. Maybe some of you need to just get that one loud scream out. Scream into a pillow if you have to. It's going to release something that's been stuck and stagnant in your body. And Spirit's just calling me to relay that message to you because sometimes we just need to let it go. Whatever it is, There's things that we hold on to in our bodies, and it's tough to know where it is, what it's from. A lot of times it's from our lineage and we don't even know where it came from or why we're carrying it. So whatever it is that needs to be released right now, find some sort of somatic way to get rid of it, okay? So if movement is calling to you, screaming is calling to you, any of that is coming up. All right, so we're going to jump right in. Let's start with the Moonology deck and take a look at our overall themes for this full moon here. What does the collective need to know during this full moon in Gemini? Thank you. We have third quarter moon, adjustments are required. So there's something in your life that maybe you've been working towards. Maybe you have a plan, but some adjustments are required. Maybe you've started doing something. Maybe you have not started doing something at all. You're just expecting things to happen around you. There's something with your plan that needs some tweaking right now, okay? Just some slight adjustments. It's not like throw the whole plan out and go in a different direction. This is not giving me that. This is giving me that just some minor tweaks to your plan need to be implemented for it to be better. And if you're unsure as to what those adjustments need to be, this is where that shadow work is going to come in. All right. So we'll go deeper into that as well. All right. What else? Thank you. We have new moon in Aries. It's time to take action. So maybe the adjustment is, like I was just saying, is that things are not just going to fall into place without your action. They're not just going to accumulate and happen around you while you sit still and do nothing. You need to put some sort of action plan into place. So maybe you've been more in like your planning stages of something or thinking stages of something. Maybe you got pie charts out and, bubble charts and whatever else you can do here. But you haven't actually taken any steps to move towards this direction. Okay? So this is where it's coming into play where, okay, we're wrapping things up. We're completing cycles. Now it's time to move forward with whatever this is that you are trying to accumulate or accomplish. At the bottom of the deck here, we do have a fiery climax approaches, which is a full moon in Aries. So we're going to get one more. A lot of Aries energy on the table here. We have North Node, step out of your comfort zone. This is what's been holding you back. There's so many of you out there that want to be comfortable consistently. And Spirit is not going to allow that. So you're asking what you need to do. There's your answer. And look, bottom of the deck again is this fiery climax approaches. Another Aries card. Okay, so there's a lot of Aries energy. It feels like you have this bubbling up passion beneath the surface here. And what I'm getting as an image here is like those steam pots. Is that what they're called? Pressure cookers? And it's boiling to the point where it's about to the steam's going to evacuate. Like, it's got to have somewhere to go. So there's this part of you that's been trying to stay comfortable. Maybe I can just start to plan all this stuff and get that part out of the way without taking any action towards it, and hoping that it will just unfold in front of me without me needing to do anything. But here's the dilemma. Growth does not occur in your comfort zone. So Spirit's going to start making you uncomfortable to the point of you needing to take action. This feels like a nudge, a push. Again, it's giving me full card, like the 0 point. You've got to jump off that cliff and trust, do the trust fall, surrender. But growth is not going to occur in your comfort zone. And you're not going to be allowed to remain comfortable through this period. It's just not going to be allowed. So remember to let go of whatever needs to let go with a somatic release, cathartic screaming, jumping, crying, sweating, whatever it is. You're literally letting go of something in your body. Maybe you're doing like a juice cleanse or something like that. But through this period here, this wrapping up, things are going to get uncomfortable and they are going to require your action. All right, let's get into the tarot. Let's see what else we have. Tell me more, please, for the collective. Thank you. We have the 6 of Cups, Page of Cups. Okay. I know what that instantly takes me to, but I want to get more information before I speak on that. The first thing that came to me, I'm going to put to the side for a second, because the second thing that came to me is inner child healing. reconnecting with your inner child. What do you do on a daily basis to connect with your inner child? And not only to connect with your inner child, but to make your inner child feel seen, loved, wanted. Okay, then we've got the Hanged Man. We've got the Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. Yep, you are in a holding pattern at this time, and patience is required until you do this thing. And some of you have felt that, like the holding pattern and the patience. Like it's what it's giving me here is you've been sitting at home, maybe you've been connecting to your inner child and doing the work. But there comes a time when that step is over and it's time to branch out and to take that action, okay? And I'm also getting that it's time to take action in the material world. You've already planted seeds. And again, I'm getting this was more thought process planning, maybe. Like dreaming of the steps, but not doing the steps. Making a plan, but not starting the plan. I'm getting that phase is coming to an end here. So, when you are called to take action, it's time to go. And you are going to be uncomfortable. I've got the Three of Wands at the bottom, which means you've already chosen your direction and your path. It's just time to go that way. Like, you've already been there, you know? You're like, yep, this is what I want. And look at that, Fool is underneath that. That's crazy. It's time to go. That is very much the message that is coming out here from Spirit. What do we have underneath that one? The Ten of Cups. It's going to lead to your ultimate fulfillment. Like, here's the dilemma that you have. You are so afraid to get out of your comfort zone and start something new because you're like, well, I don't know the outcome. I can't see it. I can't touch it. I can't smell it. Well, you don't get to have that. That's kind of like a control issue situation. You just need to do that trust fall and know that this is what you get at the end of it. The Ten of Cups is ultimate fulfillment. Rainbow sherbets on the table there. So once you do that trust fall and you surrender to the divine plan, your happiness comes after that. You don't get to be happy while you're trying to think of how to word this, like unearthing your entire existence. And actually you can choose to be happy, but most people in an uncomfortable situation find it hard to find happiness. And so what's going to get you through this time is connecting to your inner child, satisfying whatever needs that inner child is asking for at this time. So there may be a situation where as a kid you made mud pies, or right now where I live it's snowing. Maybe you made snowmen or built igloos or had snowball fights or went sledding or snowboarding or skiing. Find something that brings you joy while you transition out of this old phase and into this new phase. Try not to dwell in that, like, I'm not happy here because it's uncomfortable. Like, even with this guy hanging upside down here, maybe he's uncomfortable. But the thing is with the Hanged Man, they choose to hang here like this because they are choosing to see things from a new perspective. It's like they hung themselves up there and says, yes, this is what I'm choosing to do right now. Nobody forced them to do this. It's always a choice. So I want to keep going here and see what else we have going on. So I paused the video there for a second so I could take a drink of my coffee at 14:44. So that number might be significant to someone out there. All right, so we're going to clarify each of these cards. Let's get one card for each tarot card. Tell me about the Six of Cups. I'm getting something when you were a child that you did that was potentially creative or artistic. Might be something that fulfills you at this time. Okay, we have swim away. Let's get one for the Page of Cups. We have sweetness and love. There was something that fulfilled you that you did. Lisa Frank stickers and etc. just came to me. Lip smackers. So, if any of you collected things as a child, maybe something happened to that collection, and you no longer have it, but you remember collecting it, I'm going to tell you something funny that I've noticed. A lot of people, and again, this goes to any era that you fall into, okay? When our inner child is not satisfied, we're going to say, feeling loved, feeling seen, our adult versions try to fill that void with nostalgia. Try to fill it with things we used to collect as a kid, right? So I want you to not only look at yourself in this situation, but the people around you. Who does it seem is filling a void with their childhood by collecting things from that time frame in their life? Now, talking about the Six of Cups, and we have two individuals here, and we have two turtles here, and it says swim away. The first thing that came to me when these two cards were laid on the table is someone from your past coming back in, trying to send you a message. Potentially a love message. However, it does not have to be that way. That's why I kind of went with the second thing that came to me, which was the inner child healing. What this is giving me now, in combination of those two messages that came through, is maybe this person is coming back to help you, for you to help each other to do some inner child healing. So I don't know if you knew this person in childhood, and maybe similar life paths have taken you away from each other at some point, and then you're coming back together. Because, you know, with the swim away, I am getting that I'm not getting that you need to like avoid this person when they come back in. It doesn't feel like that energy. What this feels like is both these turtles are swimming away from something else in the same direction. Maybe you both avoided inner child healing at some point, and now like life is wrapping it back around again for you to address it together. All right, and then oddly, miraculously, my candle just went out while I was describing that, so let me relight that. All right, and then also, just as I paused that to do that, I heard a car honking. Like an alarm was going off. So what this is giving me is divine timing. There's something here with this person coming back into your life, that is structured around divine timing. So maybe it was a soul contract, like someone's coming back in so that you can heal together. So again, whatever you were both running away from, maybe you were running away from each other. Maybe you were running away from the inner child healing. I am getting that this sweetness and love that wants to come in is going to further this growth for the both of you. And it's going to get you out of your comfort zones. So let's see what else we have here. Thank you. We have manifestation, magnetic, and creation with the Hanged Man. So what this is giving me is that this separation was absolutely, again, divinely planned, divinely guided, because if you knew this person as a friend or a potential romantic partner, something occurred that caused the separation, whatever it was, okay? There could be so many reasons this occurred. But what I am getting is that at that time, the timing wasn't right to continue for you both to be together. And so the separation had to occur. And the reason it had to occur is so that each of you could spend this time here in self-reflection and seeing things from a different perspective. And almost creating something for yourself. And what this is doing is it's making each of you magnetic now back towards each other. So it's almost like you're manifesting each other back into your life for additional healing. And maybe you're going to be working together on a project, creating something. So again, going back to the Page of Cups here. Something that's creative. And I am getting that the two of you are opposites in some way. So whether it's masculine and feminine energy, maybe you're opposite signs, like sun signs, moon signs, whatever. There is some degree of opposites here. Which maybe initially that's what rubbed you both the wrong way. Like, oh, you're so different than me, I just can't. And now you're getting back together and with the understanding that the differences are what make us compatible. All right. We got this one. It says, go for it. Time to make that leap. Which, yep, we've been discussing that. That's the Fool energy, right? So now we're not just making the plan and we're not just sitting in our comfort zone. It is actually time to go. It's time to go. I just heard boots to the ground. You're absolutely being asked to move now. We have swim away. Take that leap. A lot of action needing to be done here. So it feels like this time for reflection has passed. We're no longer sitting stagnant and reflecting anymore. Spirit's calling you to move. It's time to go. And then we have magic, feeling trapped, and illusion. Okay, so some of you feel that you can't move. I don't know why you feel that way. This is giving me 8 of Swords. It's all in your head. You have this new beginning here that wants to happen, that wants to materialize in your world. But there's some part of you that still wants to sit in this comfort zone. Maybe you think there's more adjustments that you could make to this plan before you actually take any action steps. And Spirit's like, nope. The adjustments that are required are in the action that you need to take. The plan is fine. Stick to the plan. And if adjustments need to be, wow, okay. If adjustments need to be made, you make them along the way. The planning phase is over. The sitting in your comfort zone is over. It is time now to take that first step, or if you've already been taking steps, go to the next step. And then when you realize that either the plan is working, you keep going at that same trajectory, or you make adjustments. You make your adjustments and then you step again. So some of you may have this illusion that you're stuck right now in some way, or that you can't move, and Spirit's calling you out and being like, nope, you are not stuck. You're not. In fact, get up and go. We do have at the bottom of the deck, wonderful blessings are coming to you. So this is like peace, love, and money. We do have the Ace of Pentacles here. You are going to receive a blessing. As soon as you make that choice to take that first step, Spirit's like, I got you. Good for you for getting out of your comfort zone and moving forward. I am going to bless you with something to help you on your way. Whether that is in the form of money, whether that is in the form of love, maybe it's in the form of time. Maybe you feel you don't have the time to do this. Well, guess what? Something's going to be removed out of your life that's been taking your time, and so that you have the time now. So whatever your thought process is around why you feel trapped, it is an illusion. You are not trapped. You're being called to go, to take that leap, and to take action. Be bold in your action plan. So I am going to jump over to the Shadow Oracle deck, and we're going to see potentially what else could be holding you back from taking this action. All right, Spirit, what do we have for the collective? What do they need to know that they need to look at with the shadow elements of what could be potentially holding them back from taking this leap, from taking the action? Thank you. Shadow Blossom. You need both sunlight and darkness to bloom fully. This is resilience and nourishing. So again, we talked about opposites, needing both sunlight and darkness. Either some of you have been stuck too much in one realm or the other. So again, the Hanged Man is giving me that you've been doing the shadow work, right? Hermit mode. You've been staying inside, doing the inner work. But now Spirit's like, it's time to go out and experience the sunlight. So what this is giving me, and if you look at this card, it's very beautifully described even in the picture. You have the dirt, and that's the darkness, right? Rising up, and even up to the leaves and everything, it's dark. The part of you that needs to bloom, though, is the part that needs the sunlight. So this is like giving me stepping out into the day, being seen. It could also be a play on masculine and feminine energy, you know, talking about opposites. The moon is the feminine energy and the sun is the masculine energy. It's like the two need to be symbiotic in order to work well together. This could also be the battle between your head and your heart. Like maybe your heart is trying to push you along to go do that thing, but your head here is what's keeping you feeling trapped. Could be the ego that's also making you feel that, you know, oh, that's not comfortable. We don't want to go do that. We don't want to leave this comfort zone. But your North Node is your purpose in life. Your North Node is what is drawing you out of this hermit mode right now and trying to get you to fulfill your life purpose. So it's time. If some of you have this fear of being seen, then that's part of the shadow work that you're doing or have been doing. Okay? It can absolutely be scary to step out of your comfort zone to be seen. Some people have a fear of being seen because it had always in childhood equated to punishment. So with your shadow work, I want you to look at that. What is the fear around being seen? Why do I have this fear, and how can I heal it with my inner child? How can I make this right so that my inner child feels seen and loved and heard without there being this underlying fear of what comes after it? Well, again, whether it's punishment or anything else. I mean, this could go a multitude of ways as well, but it typically is associated with punishment. All right, let's get another one of the Shadow Oracle. I want to see what else we have. Having hope. Navigate your shadows with compassion and gentleness. This is grace, kindness, and self-care. All right. Love that with the cup energy. Maybe some of you have just, and I'm not feeling that you feel this now, but maybe in the very recent past, you had no hope. Again, feeling trapped. Maybe you felt that like this was the best your life could get. We can't do any more than this. And I'm getting a lot of that has to do with programming. Maybe you were told as a kid, you'll never amount to anything. And that's just a terrible thing for a child to have to hear. Maybe you had dreams and aspirations and they were just shot down because someone said to you, nope, you'll never be able to do that. Are you crazy? Are you funny? Are you nuts? At the bottom of the deck here, we have shedding illusions. The first step to awareness. Sorry, the first step is awareness. The second is acceptance. This is reality, honesty, and self-love. So it can be difficult to shed these illusions that have been placed on you when they came from a trusted source, we'll say. Like I said, a parental unit, an elder figure. This is part of what we're letting go of. And I'm getting more that this is more ancestral lineage trauma. So it's giving me that like maybe your parents said this to you and their parents said it to them and so on and so on and so on. Rather than lifting up a child and making them believe that they could do anything in their life, they did the opposite. They led them to believe that they could do nothing in their life. And that they're basically doomed to repeat the same ancestral patterns that everyone that came before them did. But you're different. You're already doing it. And that's where Spirit's calling you to have this grace and compassion and gentleness with yourself. Because guess what? You're doing something that your entire lineage that came before you didn't do. Maybe they couldn't do it. Maybe so many of them felt trapped. And they just didn't have the capacity to handle what you're handling right now. There's something that you are doing that far surpasses anything beyond what anyone in your ancestral lineage could have done. So it's time to take that nagging voice in the back of your head that's always told you what you can't do and can't be, and put it to rest. That person has no power over you. None whatsoever. And sometimes we don't even know that that's existing. It's kind of like a background program running in our brains. And it becomes self-sabotaging. So, you're here to heal this. You're here to let this go, to shed these illusions, to bloom in adversity, and to have hope that you can do great things. Despite what anybody's told you along your entire life, you've got to believe in yourself. The very next one at the bottom of the deck is emotional release. Letting go creates space for new beginnings, catharsis, and purification. I want you to look at this card because I told you at the beginning of the reading that I heard cathartic screaming. Is this person not cathartically screaming? Yep. What a way to confirm exactly what I said. Now, the next bottom of the deck we have is confronting your fears. Okay? This is going to take bravery. There's some fear that you are holding on to that's preventing you from taking that action step to move forward. And Spirit just wants you to see what it is, confront it, and release it. It feels like you are all doing so much work here, and it's beautiful. I cannot even begin to express how amazing you are all doing on this journey. Again, you are doing things that your ancestors never could. They never could have dreamed of doing it. And so when one of them steps in with that voice that's nagging in the back of your head to tell you you can't do something, or that you shouldn't do something, you take it with a grain of salt, and you just have to understand that that's their limiting mindset, and that you can do great things, and you are doing great things. So it's like the choice is very real. Many of them sat in that comfort zone. They didn't make adjustments to their plan, and they never took action. Because of this. There was this illusion of feeling trapped. It was like their brain and their programming literally told them that they can't do what you're doing. And this came from their own parental units, society, probably religion, politics, whatever. And then you show up. You're this generational curse breaker, and you're like, guess what? I'm doing this. It's uncomfortable, but I'm doing it. And as you do it, you are then healing your entire generational line. You are also prompting other people to follow suit. As you heal, the collective heals. So, for this full moon, you want to know what it is that you want to do? Release the crap that's holding you back, because they are illusions. Everything that you want to manifest is on the other side of fear. and it involves you needing to get out of your comfort zone and to take action. So, that is all I have for you. Maybe I will give you an affirmation. Maybe a couple affirmations. We'll see what wants to come out. So let's wrap this reading up with some affirmations for the beautiful collective out there listening. I trust myself to make the right decision. Always try to be your best supporter. The true magic starts when you believe in yourself. I love that. Because again, nobody can take action but you. It's your life. Creative energy surges through me and leads me to new and brilliant ideas. We've all been given the gift of creativity and imagination. Focus on accepting that you are a limitless spiritual being and your imagination will flourish. Yes. So again, that's going back to that inner child energy. What is it that you did as an inner child that made you feel great? You know, maybe you did hopscotch and sidewalk chalk. Maybe you blew bubbles. Maybe you rolled down a hill till you were sick. You spun on a tire till you were ready to throw up. Maybe you painted. Maybe you played an instrument. You created music. There's so many things as children that we do or did that brought us joy. And again, it's coming from that place of innocence. So that's what you can do, is go back to some of those. That's where you're going to find your comfort. That's what I just heard. Your comfort is going to come from you going back and pleasing your inner child. My inner self always knows what to do. Whenever you have to make a decision, pay attention to what you feel in that moment. Is your discomfort or anxiety coming out of fear, or do you feel as if it is somehow justified? So think about that. If you think about what gives you anxiety, anxiety comes from focusing too much on the future. Depression comes from focusing too much on the past. I'm going to repeat that. Anxiety comes from focusing too much on the future. Depression comes from focusing too much on the past. Now, I am not a therapist, not that kind of therapist. However, that is the general rule of thumb. When you get anxiety, it's like this fear rises up in you, and you are scared of some potential outcome of something in the future. And it's based on things from your past. So think about it in this way. Something in your past occurred. Maybe in childhood, maybe in your teenage years, maybe in your adult years. And you remember that. Your body remembers that. And so as you approach that situation, your brain starts to revert back to that time and those feelings and says, well, this was unsafe back then. Remember all the anxiety and the fear and the worry that came up when this thing occurred? That's going to happen again. And so you get into this state of anxiety. I actually posted a video on my other channel, and it's a really quick video. In fact, it might even be a short on, I think it's 8 ways to help you deal with anxiety. Just quick things you can do, right? I'm going to give you one right here and right now because it's the most important one, and it is breath work. Anytime that you start to feel anxiety come up, focus on your breathing. Because likely when you start to feel anxiety, your fight or flight, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in, and you do quick, shallow breathing. What you want to do is to get back into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest, and focus on longer breaths. So to start with, I would count to 3. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3. Do that as many times as you need to. And that's actually retraining your brain and your nervous system to be calm in that moment. Do it as long as you need to. Now, again, in that video, there are many other things that I address as to other things you can do. But breath work is the number one thing that brings you back into this moment, the here and now. Because that's also the issue. Your brain is thinking too much in the future. You're not here. You're not present. So it's you're needing to bring your body, to bring your whole mind, self, everything here in this moment. Because this moment is the one that matters. Not whatever future thing you're thinking of. Now with depression, that's a lot different, because that means you're dwelling too much on past events and you're depressed about it. I don't necessarily have a way to bypass that, except for releasing things, right? Healing from things, forgiveness, letting them go. Like, some people can't forgive themselves for terrible things they've done, so they get depressed about it. Sometimes they're in some other state of mind, right? Things that happened to them, they can't let it go. They can't forgive the person that did the thing to them. And so they just get into this state. So again, I am not a psychologist, a psychiatrist. But I have been to many. And the only best thing that I can tell you for that is maybe you need to see one. I also know that journaling helps tremendously. To go back and actually break down the why behind everything. Why are you depressed? What is causing this depression? Same with the anxiety. Journal about that too. I am a huge advocate for journaling. So when you're doing this work, know that it is messy. Know that it does sometimes involve you needing to scream cathartically to release something. Sometimes it's going to invoke lots of tears and crying. But the beautiful thing about that is that you are releasing it. You're letting it go. It's no longer stuck in you. And once you heal past some of these things, like I just heard transgressions, whatever the things are that you're healing from, it's like you're given this blank slate and you're deprogramming the things that were running in the back of your head. Again, that voice telling you can't do something. It's like that all gets reprogrammed and it's gone. And then you get to live more freely and as your more authentic self without this background program running. So I know that the end of this message got kind of long, but I felt that some of you needed to hear this part. So if you're still here, thank you so much for joining me. Really, really, truly. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I wish you all healing. Inner child healing, shadow work healing, integrating all of that. This is what we all came to do. And the biggest thing to remember as you go through this process is that as you start to heal, not only does humanity get healed with you, but you also start to gain an understanding of all the programming that everybody else is running in their life, and that you have no control over what they do and how they respond. The only thing that you can control is your response to something. So there's going to be people that are going to come in and they're going to trigger you. Some people do it on purpose and they know it triggers you. But look at that trigger as a gift. Why are you being triggered by this? What can you do to heal past that trigger? So we can only look at ourselves, identify within ourselves what needs to be healed, and heal ourselves. We can never force someone else to heal. And guess what? There's going to be people that are going to come along that don't want to heal at all. They think that everything that they do is perfectly fine and they're good to go. And they're just hurting people along the way. So I just heard that phrase, hurt people, right? They were hurt, and so they turn around and they have that background programming running, and then they hurt others. So this is your message for today. Again, thank you all so much for joining me. Truly, truly appreciate all of you. I wish you all a lifetime of happiness, health, wealth, abundance, and so much love. Take care, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.